Over the next week, Valkyria Chronicles tanks are going to be for sale in Asia for one whole week. If you're looking for an excuse to open an account in Asia, now would be a great time. The two featured tanks for Valkyria Chronicles, of course, is the Nameless, which is a Tier 8 heavy tank, and the Edelweiss, which is a medium tank. Today, we are looking at the Edelweiss being driven by Asia community contributor Lee Schwarn, and he's going to show us a thing or two in his Nameless Tier 8 heavy tank, which is, of course, it has some kawaii Japanese 14-year-old girl crew. That's why you hear the cute voices. This voice acting actually comes with the tank, so it is not a mod, it is actually in the tank, and it's pretty kawaii, I guess. What do we have here? This is the heavy tank version. There is a medium tank version called the Edelweiss. This is called the Nameless. 1600 hit points, 570 horsepower, 16.76 power to weight ratio makes this kind of like a nimble-ish tank. The standard shells are AP, and the premium shells are APCR. Penetration is 220 on the standard AP shells, which is why you see our friend here firing mostly standard shells. He's not even running food, he's just running regular fire extinguisher and a couple of APCR shells. But what is good about this tank is it does have a little bit of armor, 220 thickness on the frontal hull armor, the turret armor 240. It does have a little bit of a weakness in the cupola, so you don't want to be too stationary when you're moving around, but when you are moving around, it doesn't seem to be all that bad, because the dispersions on this tank seem to be pretty okay if you're running a vertical stabilizer, I guess, because the standard dispersion on this tank is 0.35. The moving dispersion is 0.18, which isn't like that great. The aim time 2.21. Nothing here to suggest that the gun is anything fantastic, just seems very regular, but the proof is in the pudding. Maybe there is some hidden stats that we don't know about, and maybe it's there's some ninja buffs going on in the background. We don't know all the soft stats that is published or not published in the game, so you can see for yourself here, right? He's hitting all his shots. He's basically making everything, and he's penning everything as well. So this is kind of like a pretty good tank. Now, I actually have this tank in my Sheriff's account, but I've never actually played it, and I was thinking of making this video on my own and just play it by myself and give you my opinion on it. But even though I have not played this tank, I actually know this tank quite well. It is because this tank has been in the game for many years in Asia, and a lot of people got this tank when it first came out, and I hear a lot of good things about it, especially the heavy tank version, not so the medium tank version. But I tell you what I'll do, I will play the medium tank version and give you my honest, no bullshit assessment on this tank on the Edelweiss. But this is the Nameless. You can see the turret there. He's got a little bit of a tumor on his cupola there, so it is a hittable target. You can hit it if you spend a little bit of time aiming at it. It's not impossible to hit, but the Nameless is by far the favorite of the pair. I know a lot of people say good things about the Nameless. That's because it has a little bit of armor, and judging from the mobility, the reverse isn't that great, but you know what I mean. You can see the reverse speed 14 kilometers an hour, not that great, but when you see him wiggling his tank around, you can see that his power to weight ratio is actually quite good for a heavy tank, 16.76, and the hull rotation speed of 27.12 degrees. It makes this tank actually quite agile on its feet. For a heavy tank, this is quite an agile tank. 50 kilometers an hour going forward, which means it can get to that 50 kilometers an hour fairly quickly with that high power to weight ratio of 16.76. But the reverse speed is not great. 14 kilometers an hour means it is reversing fairly slowly, but for him to wiggle around, turn his turret around, fight tanks around him, our friend here is actually ammo racked, and he's going to be ammo racked for a long time, for almost the remainder of the game, another 1 more minute. But you don't see him having any kind of trouble dealing with any of his enemies. Even though he is ammo racked, he is still very combat capable, this tank, which is why mad props to this tank and our community contributor from Vietnam, Lee Shoren. He is racking up nearly 4k of damage. Now he's even got a damage track and damage engine and ammo racked. I don't think he might get 1 or 2 more shots here, but I assume he's going to get over 4k damage here. Yes, we just reached 4k, 4,227 damage in the Nameless. He is basically driving in slow motion right now with damage engine, damage tracks, ammo racked, and I think he finally gets his repair kit up, but he can only repair one thing, which is going to be his ammo rack. He's still going to have a broken engine. If it was me, I would probably run it with food, and I would probably run it with a large repair kit and a large med kit, and we would be good to go. And you could, who knows, maybe you could have done 5,000 damage with this tank in this game. But mad props to our friend here with firing just standard shells, not even with food, with fire extinguisher, small first aid kit, small repair kit, and making this tank work for him. He's just smashing the credits out. He's gonna save a lot of credits because he's not firing any premium shells, does not use any premium equipment. Save a lot of credits there, and made a lot of credits because he's done over 4.3k damage in this game. What do you think of this tank, man? If you're in Asia, I think I would get it. I would definitely get it if I was in Asia. If you're in EU, I think you need to, email and go and bug Ikibu and get him to include the Valkyria Chronicles tanks into EU and NA so you can pick it up for yourself. There you go, 4,300 damage, 1,800 blocked, and nearly 100 grand in credits made without any bonuses for first games or platooning or any of that bonuses. Clean 100 grand. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and hope it piqued your interest in the Valkyria Chronicles tanks. See you on the next video. Bye.